Hey guys, how's it going? So we get the special privilege of being able to tour one of the spaces that Jack is currently working on. This is Jack Barnwell. I hope you saw our first 2 garden tours from this morning. We will link them down below. We were just walking past this one and Jack was saying, yeah, just working on this one. And we thought, oh,
let's check it out.
We gotta see it so that you can see what one of these spaces looks like in process.
Yeah, this is kind of a little bit of a bomb site right now. It's really in the throes of full-on construction. We're doing the hardscaping right now on a large-scale renovation. The cottage itself is undergoing a tremendous amount of renovation. Beautiful historic restoration happening on the cottage, and they're very close to finished. And we will be styling out and doing the landscape as well, and the hardscape is coming along really well. This one's a pretty elaborate, pretty detailed hardscape, so this is going to be fun to show you guys through this one because there's a lot going on. I mean, so just out here in front, for example, the original entry to the cottage was straight in front of the cottage.
Okay.
It was a straight walkway up to the stairs, and it was a tiny little concrete sidewalk through this massive 14-foot wide hedge that had been here forever and ever, right?
Wow.
And you can kind of see the end of it there.
Yeah.
Right? It was just huge and taking up a ton of real estate and everything. So we had to take that all out inevitably to get some new utilities in here and all kinds of stuff. So new, nice, tight clipped hedge going in, and we moved the entry way over here. And that was a big design kind of element that the owners were like, I don't know, Jack. And I'm like, trust me, because right off the bat, what I wanted to do was center the entry on the property as a whole. So if you're coming in and you're coming here, I mean, let's face it, it's a summer cottage. They're entertaining, they're having a good time. If you're coming in and going up to where the outdoor fireplace and the patio and all that is, or you're going to the house, you want to sort of welcome people to both and include the whole entire property as opposed to just the skinny little weird walkway that it was before. So really changed things up there. We're gonna have a beautiful big entry here. You can see some of my paint from before, but this entry, the brickwork that we'll see in a minute, will come spilling out into here, and my brother Emery is building these beautiful arbors. So right about in here there'll be this really beautiful arbor with these benches all built into it, with a gate. And then from there, at a 45-degree angle, they'll connect to this gate here. And it'll be this really charming little gate entryway thing here. And then you'll have, if you're parking a bicycle, you'll have the option to come over here. And this whole little space right here is just now getting prepped to be built out into a big stone wall, and this will be bike parking.
Wow. You can see at the beginning.
Guest parking lot here, yeah.
Love
this
that.
is a little guest parking area. And then they'll come up this staircase. These are what's called thermaled bluestone. So feel how it's got kind of like a grip to it?
Yeah, it does.
They do that with heat. And so instead of having a real sheen to it, which can be really slippery, they do that with literally like a blowtorch.
Really?
And it will pock up and kind of just like boil the surface of the stone just enough to give it that
like
grip. Yeah. Isn't that cool?
Yeah, that is cool.
Yeah.
Interesting color on that too. I like that.
And then right here, this is going to be a beautiful curved, real perfect curved brick walkway. And we're using the same brick that we have up there on that little patio to tie in with the chimneys and everything like that.
Oh, look at that walkway. Oh, that's gorgeous.
Oh yeah. So that's more of like our woodland landscape element there for that walkway. It'll have a living joint. And then this front walkway is a little more formal, and it'll be all this beautiful brickwork with the thermal bluestone steps. A lot of beautiful curves and real whimsy little walls that'll flow through here. You see this big, perfect, half circle curve here.
Yep. What a gorgeous way to frame the house. Now, when you're first looking here and you're deciding to move, I mean, that's a big change.
It was.
Moving entrance from here.
Yeah.
Do you ever have, like, do you see it and think, yes, That's what we need to do? Or do you ever get like, am I doing the right thing here? 'Cause that's what
There's
I'd be
no
doing.
going back. There's no
you
going
can't
back.
look
No.
back.
I mean, yeah, of course you're always
Like,
questioning yourself
hopefully it
and
works
everything.
out.
But it always works out, Laura.
It is just what
It
does.
always works
yeah.
out. It always
the
works
plan
out.
from
It's
the
always
beginning.
going to be exactly as the way it should be.
Oh, I can just see the curvature that you've created already
Yeah.
here. And it just,
And off of here, this brick walkway comes right tight to here.
okay.
So this wall will bump out and really be shown off right here and be a cool little
Oh,
bench
nice.
spot
Yeah.
right here. Little pocket of flowers right there.
Uh-huh.
Big, beautiful beds all up along, in front of the
Yep.
house here. And then this wall here will also curve out, right?
Okay. Uh-huh.
This way, and do a big sweeping curve back into the bank.
Uh-huh.
And where the brick walkway meets up with that one, it will be a nice 6-foot long bench section as well. So little benches
that,
tucked
yeah.
in. And once I plant it all out and all these little pockets are planted, it'll soften right up. At this stage, it's a lot of hard stone. So nice soil, yeah. Nice
That
soil.
is-
This is a blend of topsoil and our local Mackinac Island black gold right there,
Yeah.
produced by our four-legged friends.
Yep.
And this is a blend right there. So right after this, we go have breakfast because that's manure all over your hands.
That's
right there.
perfect.
That's
We'll
good.
stay healthy.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, and then we transition into this hard surface where we're just using flagstone, and this entire joint will all be planted with different mosses, creeping thymes, sedums, and things like that, and all these little nooks, so it'll soften right up and be kind of integrated with and part of the landscape. But all this stone is right here from the site.
Really?
So you can see when we're digging and excavating and
Yeah.
ripping into here, that's Mackinac Island right there.
My word.
Yeah. Some of them are bruisers too. Look at the size of some
Yeah,
of those beasts over there.
huge.
Yeah.
I love that though, and just the use in all of the gardens.
Yeah.
The use of what you come across.
It makes
and-
it feel like it's always been there,
More organic.
especially once we get it all planted and softened up.
Mm-hmm.
This one will, look like it's always meant to be here. So that's
So-
the idea.
Do you already have in your mind like some of the big plantings that you want to do?
Oh yeah, I got the whole entire thing figured
Do you
right
really?
out. No, you kidding me? But I can see it.
Uh-huh.
I mean, I can look at a bed and like sort of blur my eyes a little bit, and I
Uh-huh.
can see that fully planted.
Can you
I can
imagine?
see it. It's just a matter of doing it,
Yeah,
right?
executing.
But I can see what this whole bed right here is going to look like. Not every single plant and where it's going to go, but I
Uh-huh.
really, I really know what the vibe and the feel of all these beds and spaces will be. It's just a matter of getting from here to there.
Sure.
And
Yep.
it takes some time, but
Oh,
we have
yeah.
a really, really great team working on this one. Awesome masonry
Oh,
team.
look at that.
Some local guys that are just so good. Building this
Wow.
beautiful fireplace here. This whole space will be this raised up stone patio,
Uh-huh.
and with a really nice outdoor fireplace, so you can sit in the warm hearth there
Yeah.
and look out at this.
Let's just take a look at
unbelievable
that view.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh my goodness. We'll need to walk out in the end and show the little cocktail
Little
area.
cocktail space, yeah.
Yeah, because
That's
that's
an important,
incredible.
important design
It
feature.
is. Yes, very.
Yeah. So you can see here's a big old pile of our soil that we're using there.
Nice.
And it's definitely a construction site, at this point. The builders are in here, the landscapers are in here. We're all working around each other.
Uh-huh.
And this deck is all new too. This is kind of I designed this deck, and the clients were a little freaked out because they thought it was way too big, and they thought, I don't know if we need that much deck. But what we did is basically turn the whole entire cottage into this L-like shape, and then you can come up and down and off of the deck. This will be a big staircase going down that leads out to that raised patio space where the fireplace is,
Right.
and all that. So all these pathways and everything will integrate and tie together, where the deck then becomes kind of a flow through and a central hub where there's furnishings, you're barbecuing, you're hanging out, but then from here you're kind of going every which way.
Yeah.
And already, you know, they have moved into the house. They're nearly finished. The painters are still here, of course. But already they're just using this space all day, all the time, every evening.
I mean,
I know, it's so sweet.
And once you've got plants in here, it's just going to be a dreamscape, that's for sure. And it's just so fun to see it in this stage. We don't normally get to see the gardens when they look like, you know, in their beginnings.
Yeah, it takes, you know, sometimes you got to really rip up a site and kind of get into the nitty gritty to transform them. And this one required a lot. It was in really rough shape. They had some major drainage issues with water control, and we had some large-scale equipment here because they had to lift up the whole back of the cottage.
Oh my.
The whole thing had sunken down like 2 feet into a big rotten hole.
Whoa.
And they were about to lose the whole cottage, honestly. I mean, this thing was in really rough shape just last year.
Wow.
And they had to lift that whole thing up, preserve and save it all, because that's all original, and rebuild the whole foundation under that. And in doing so, we dug and excavated all this out, built all these new walls. Wow. This is all new. And then, you know, of course, right now this is just weeds, right?
Not for long. It's pretty though.
Not for long. Green. I know, it's green, right?
And I love that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's fun. But all these little pockets will be torn out and replanted really nice and everything.
But the stone walls, dang.
All right here from the site, you know. All of this is just Mackinac limestone. And we're blessed to have it.
Yeah.
It's a pain to dig through and,
I'm sure,
you know, work with sometimes, but when you can produce and build beautiful, beautiful walls like that with a product that is right here on site, it's kind of free.
Incredible. Yeah. Yeah.
It's awesome.
Well, the backdrop's always beautiful here too, with all the great big trees and.
Yeah, this is a pretty cool property. This is the original barn here, which is also being fixed up and shored up a little bit. And then the whole back of the property goes all the way out to that back little carriage road and kind of rambles all down through here through the woods. And so we have right now a lot of construction debris everywhere, and the place is pretty tore up. But as we start to finish out the front and work our way back, we have a lot of space back here to work with, and it'll be really nice to kind of just keep you know, softening this up and reimagining all these spaces and places. And eventually they'd like to have a horse. They have some really beautiful antique carriages that came with the house.
Neat.
So these new owners are really trying to just keep the Mackinac spirit alive and keep the cottage alive, and which is so awesome. And so this whole entire space will eventually turn into a horse paddock area right here.
Oh, that's perfect.
Yeah.
And the natural back here is just beautiful.
Yeah. I mean, it's really neat to have just natural Mackinac woodland on these properties. Isn't that just gorgeous?
Yeah. It does go back.
It goes
far,
way back.
Yeah.
It's nice and cool back in here. You know, really, really nice. So they can drop out the back side of the house here and drop behind these West Bluff cottages right downtown, kind of
nice, kind of sneak in.
Sneak attack.
Yeah. Otherwise it goes in front of like the ones a lot of people are usually looking at in front of.
Right. So they have their kind of sneaky back entrance there.
All right, let's head out to the front area.
For sure.
The cocktail perch. We're out in front of the house, so that's the house right there, just right across the lane on this side. I thought this was so cool.
Yeah, this is a really neat little feature here. Right now, we've got some temporary snow fencing up just to keep people away because it's still under construction, and we are right on the cliff here of Mackinac Island. And so this was built, the wall work and everything ties into the cottage and the style of rock work that we're doing. And eventually there'll be a really charming little trail up through here. This will all be planted out, and it'll be super hidden and private. So you really won't see this from the road, but this will be a really cool spot for the owners to put their big, comfy Adirondack chairs with this stone table. It was literally put here just to be a little cocktail table so they can have their glass of wine there and look out at the view and take this all in.
We should have brought some cocktail supplies.
I know. What were we thinking?
I don't know.
Every day and all the time, there's so much to see out here in the Straits of Mackinac. That's a big, massive freighter rolling through right now, and that's a Viking cruise ship.
Oh, really?
The
That
Viking
one back-
Cruise Line,
really?
has these massive, beautiful, high-end cruises. They cruise through the Great Lakes.
Oh,
And
that's cool.
they'll be docking, I'm sure, here at Mackinac later today, and the people will get out and do a carriage tour and do the,
yeah, make the
and
rounds.
make the
Yeah.
rounds, and then back on the ship. But I think they go from like Chicago all the way down to Detroit. They
Really?
kind of do around the horseshoe
Sure.
and different things like that. It's pretty neat.
This is awesome.
Yeah, it's a really
I love this so much.
super sweet little spot.
Yes. Well, thank you for taking us through this. I know for myself, taking somebody through a project in process can sometimes be a little overwhelming, I guess.
Oh, no,
I
it's
don't know.
good.
But it's so neat to see this. I was so excited when we came upon it this morning.
Yeah.
So thank you for taking us through.
Of course.
Thank you guys for watching, and we will see you in the next one. Bye.